And good afternoon, everyone. Well, first of all, I want to go to choose this topic as my last lecture of this workshop, which is based on RS and GIS applications in biodiversity conservation and management. The purpose to choose this topic is to bring awareness or everyone come to know about such an easier and less time consuming technologies to work either for biodiversity, zoology, botany, or environmental science, or in any field. Wherever you move, GIS will move with you. It can facilitate personals or users in various forms. You can bring GIS from indoor to outdoor in the field, and at the time you can curtail the load of GIS work which you are traditionally doing in indoor services. While GIS refers to Geographic Information System for use on mobile devices, it extends the traditional indoor services to outdoor work, and it also enables GIS accessibility at any location and allow field personnel or user to collect, store, edit, manipulate, analyze, and display spatial data in an easy, inexpensive, and effective way. Because geographical location and object description is an important aspect in field research, regardless of the spatial scale. Throughout time, biodiversity, or it is wildlife, or say altogether natural science, have been using different tools and methods to determine and record location, description of observations with all limitations on their use. Suppose if someone wants to measure a bigger area, so it needs the first thing manpower. Second thing, we can measure it manually, either using a measuring tape or any other parameter. Because of variation in topography, vegetation type, we may face complexity in the measurement of a bigger area. Lately, more and more common digital methods and new technologies which have begun gaining interest and popularity within the natural science community. Among those technologies, mobile GIS is one, which has become quite popular, and its applications which are gaining audience in recent time. Where we were dedicated to handheld devices like GPS earlier, which have been substituted by smartphones and tablets with integrated GPS receivers, so that field mapping now has become much easier and more readily available to a broader audience. The GIS tools that are used in the data collection are increasingly day by day benefiting all of us in all disciplines, from the citizen science approach, where in the citizen science approach we involve unprofessionals or public to collect data, to analyze data, and to manipulate data, which can significantly affect both the way the projects are designed and the outcomes that projects achieve. What we need or required to use mobile GIS. We need nothing special while using GIS on mobile. Simply we need a mobile device, wireless network connection, or even you can work in the offline mode. Activated GPS, mobile GIS applications of your choice, which facilitates you or suits you best or easy to handle in the subject of your interest. And lastly, we need geospatial data. There are certain important definitions which we must know before using GIS, and even most of the definitions are well known to everyone because in the current world we all are almost totally dependent on mobile services. Mobile web GIS, where we use browser, Firefox, Google Chrome, Safari. To use mobile GIS applications, it's the online GIS accessibility for mobile devices. Then we have native apps, which we can download either from Google Play Store or from the Apple Play Store, whatever handsets you have with you. Hybrid app is also known as native web app, which is created based on a hybrid development framework or a web to native middleware that can bridge services requests from the web-based JS code to the corresponding platform or API. We have Wireless Application Protocol, WAP, which is a global communication standard. WAP enables the ability of mobile applications communicated through different wireless network. Mobile client. It is a side of a mobile GIS, which often includes both the hardware, where GPS-enabled mobile terminals, and software, or a mobile GIS user interface, which deployed on the mobile terminal to access the system functions. The mobile terminal could be a large variety of mobile devices, including smartphones, pocket PCs, PDAs, tablets, laptops, and smart eyeglasses too. User interface. It is a tool that can enable users to manipulate maps and their underlying geographic information through mobile devices. Augmented reality. It enables users to better interpret and interact with real-world objects, which are enhanced by computer-generated perceptual information across multiple sensory modalities. There is nothing left to say about mobile GIS use in today's life. I simply did Google use of mobile devices in India, and I have found over 7.8 million users in India just in 0.71 seconds, and this trend of mobile use is consistently increasing. Earlier, it was used restricted to our personal life, but nowadays, just because of this pandemic, we are totally dependent on digital media, and everything nowadays is going on using smart technologies or mostly handsets or smartphones. If we talk about the personal use aspects, so from tracing of your food or finding a nearest best route to tracing a crime, everything is being done using mobile. WHO is also using a GIS center to provide healthcare services. Even farmers are also being facilitated by multiple apps to come to know about new technologies to grow crops and for export purposes. So GIS use is increasingly widely spreading everywhere, and everyone is nowadays trying to use mobile and its facilities. How we can use mobile GIS in biodiversity survey? We can use this facility from field mapping to GIS analysis and decision making. In the field mapping, we can create, edit, and use GIS maps in the field. We can record data where creation and maintenance of the inventory of interesting objects of your choice can be done very easily. In the investigation, we can maintain digital records of field objectives for legal code compliance. In the incident reporting, we can document the locations and circumstances of incidents and events for further action and reporting. In the GIS analysis and decision, it can be performed well using this tiny handset to perform measuring, buffering, geoprocessing, and other analysis while you are in the field. Architecture of mobile GIS. Everything is very clear on the canvas, that from where we are getting signals and where our data is going. But in the case of mobile GIS, for biodiversity assessment and management, we need two things. The first is the integrated GPS and then multimedia, where we can record some live events in the form of image, video, clip. We also can make some live records, and all these data we can save in our server, from where we can get access and can analyze in the view of our interest. There are certain types of mobile applications like location-based services, volunteer, geographic information, virtual reality, and augmented reality. Mobile GIS applications can be categorized in two ways according to offered functions and system access method. According to a mobile GIS, primary functions accessible through the client side, which is leading or being guided by the interface main page, that can be classified into one of the three categories, that is LBS, VGI, and VR. In the location-based services, is a real-time tracking, navigation monitoring, and location identification using GPS. Volunteer geographic information is a geographical content generated by non-professionals using mapping system available on the internet, where we can involve public or non-professionals, where we are getting multiple hands to record data, to analyze data, to manipulate data, and they also work as a volunteer. And they offer possibilities for government agencies at all levels to enhance their geospatial database. Virtual reality describes a situation where the user is disconnected from the outside world, but is present in a virtual world that doesn't exist. Augmented reality is a different experience, as it incorporates the outside world but augments it with digital information. Biodiversity. Since we are talking about mobile GIS in relation to biodiversity assessment and management, so content relating to biodiversity is mandatory. Biodiversity is the variety of ecosystems, species, and genes which is the world's natural capital, and its conservation is a key environmental priority. To manage the biodiversity well, on priority, we need data. Without data, we cannot do anything. So field data collection hereby becomes a very important aspect for management of biodiversity. Data collection is one of the key stages in field-based research. Apart from location, sites of any form of biodiversity, either it is any animal species, any insect or any plant species, in any form of biodiversity presence, there are certain other specified attributes which describes that particular form of life presence well, like the any habitat type, plant composition, tree composition, biotopes, and interaction between them. So GIS resource, either you are using it from moving GIS or disk-based GIS. GIS resources is a global platform for latest and high quality information source for the biodiversity assessment, conservation, and management. Assessment of the biodiversity becomes very difficult, due to complexity in biodiversity nature. So mobile GIS help us in the data collection process to a great extent. Sometimes we even cannot reach in the processing of the data. Since post GNSS, global navigation, satellite systems, the availability of GPS receivers in the form of mobile sets is quite wide, and it is available everywhere with everyone, and it is cheaper too. When talk about the role of mobile GIS, so what kind of problems we can handle with it? So to handle any kind of problem, we need data. Without data, we can do nothing. So with GIS with biodiversity communities shares its idea and possible way out to the problems of biodiversity relating issues, like in context of biodiversity conservation and management, degradation and disturbance regime, and climate change effects on ecosystems, and subsequent threats and consequences have been a prime focus. The data related to distribution of species and abundance, habitats, and risk should be relevant and reliable too for the proper management of biodiversity. GIS and RS have and can continue to play a critical role in conservation of Earth's biodiversity, like protected areas, and its management, which is a key use of remote sensing data. While we try to address global questions that needs global database, wide database that are enabled by satellite remote sensing data, even in the land use and land cover pattern and changing land cover use, we can obtain a very good data using mobile GIS. We have multiple advantages with the mobile GIS, like it is replacing a paper-based workflow. It is facilitating with its mobility. It is providing us a location awareness. Large volume of users can use it. Versatile means of communication is possible with mobile GIS. It is very quick to edit, manipulate, and represent our data, and it provides us near real-time information. And see the negative side. So we don't have more options over here, luckily. Just we can face the storage problem. Even presentation can also be done using mobile. So to tackle with this storage problem, we can use external devices or drives to store our data. We also have in the current world many popular mobile GIS apps which are in use in multiple disciplines. And these mobile apps are free, but few are licensed too. Whatever mobile apps for mobile GIS are free, provide us enough functioning to collect data from the field. If talk about this Q field and input, this OpenGIS, we can use these apps freely. And this Q field is compatible with QGIS, about which you have already heard a detailed lecture from Dr. Gupta. The next free mobile GIS apps are Locus GIS and ODK Collect, Open Data Kit. Using these apps, you can collect your data very well. SW Map, it actually needs a fee, a subscription, but I'll say it's free. Mobile Data Collection GIS, this is also free. Global Mapper, Collector for ArcGIS are compatible with ArcGIS, so you can use it with all facilities and all functionings by pairing with ArcGIS. Bhuvan, we all are well aware from this Bhuvan. So its app is also available, but it is not in much trained to use. I don't know why. This ODK Collect and Q Field, I think these apps are more easier to use it. And then Mapit Special, this is also another app which is licensed. For licensed apps, you have to take subscription, or either you are having the institutional account and you can avail the services from these licensed apps. There are certain other popular apps which are being currently used for the record of biodiversity or data collection of biodiversity, like iNaturalist. iNaturalist is an app which enables the identification of a species from different kingdoms. And there is a community behind this app which properly check entries of the data which users are providing to iNaturalist and verifying it, cross-checking it, then it is making available to other users to just become aware from the biodiversities around us. Then Planet. Planet is a similar application to iNaturalist, although it is dedicated solely to plants, where you can use any plant part like flower, bud, leaf, stem to identify a plant species or tree species. Similar process is being done with this Planet, where in the background the team is checking authentication of the data, then it is making available to other users. The next app is SpyPol. It is a pollinator insect identification app. So whosoever is working with biodiversity or at environmental science level can record data on these minute creatures using this pollinator insect SpyPol app. Next is eBird. eBird is a well-renowned app. It is launched by the Cornell Lab of Ornithology, where users of bird lovers, birders, they can enter information of a bird sighting by getting a login in this eBird app. Wherever they are, they can enter the information, whatever species they are citing, they can add that information. Even they will also get some keys from this eBird software, where it will assist you in the identification of a species. It can ask about the color pattern, the shape and size, and plumage color pattern and location too. So in this way, this eBird is facilitating to bird lovers if they are interested to know about a bird species which they are encountering and they don't know what bird is this. QField app. As I told you that it is quite compatible with the QGIS, and already you have done one exercise, detailed exercise on the QField recently, and that exercise was not an easy exercise. That was a complete package from downloading of image, then processing, and then extracting features and doing analysis in the form of LUSC or classification, either for the unsupervised classification or supervised classification. But all those things you can do when you are with a data set. Like for the LULC, you need a data set. If you have a data set, then you can perform any kind of job with the GIS using QGIS. With the QField app, it allows user to edit QGIS projects on a mobile device, whatever type of handset you have with your phones, tablets, etc. It is built with the QGIS rendering engine, so users QGIS projects do exactly the same project which they have created on the desktop QGIS, and when they will import that project to the QField app in their handsets, mobile sets, the same project will be displayed over there. It supports most of the formats that QGIS supports, including shapefiles, geo packages, PostGIS database, and works only when you are offline. QField functionality includes features digitizing geometry. It had attributes editing, attribute search, forms customizable through QGIS, GPS support, and camera integration. QGIS, all you know that it is freely available, so I'll not give description about that. The second application which I'm interested to give demonstration is Open Data Kit Collect app. It is a suite of open source tools for data collection and management. It includes components of a broad system consisting of forms, specifications, programming, libraries, and APIs. It enables collecting data in the field with questionnaires, including photos and geographical location. It is possible to record only a single latitude and longitude point position and media files using this ODK Kit Collect app. So it was a brief description about mobile GIS along with the some popular mobile GIS apps and two mobile GIS apps which I'll use to give demonstrations. So first I'll move for the demonstration of QField. So if now I have opened my QGIS software, please follow me if you can do, otherwise we will facilitate you by providing some videos, but time to time hands-on training is best. Open new project if you have any other project on your canvas. I just want to remove this heading now. ये नहीं, it is फिर से आ गया। इस पे प्रॉब्लम जो भी have to be careful in using menu toolbar because it is again picking up the WebEx scroll bar. So just move to HCMGIS plugin. If you don't have this plugin in your QGIS, so first of all, please install some plugins by going to plugin, manage and install plugin. Some important plugins which you will use today in this session, you have to download first, install first from here. Type here HCMGIS. It is here. You can install it. I'll not install it because it is already installed in my software. I'll give you time along with. You can install plugins. The next plugin which you will use first is geocoding. Gupta sir has also talked about this plugin, geocoding, which facilitate you to pinpoint a particular location of your interest. Geocoding. It is here, geocoding. Install this plugin to install it. Take your time. The next plugin which you will install is QField. F-I-E-L-D, QField. QField Sync. Please install this too. So 3 plugins you have to install first, then we will move ahead for the further process of this QField use. Okay, I think plugins have been downloaded. Now move your cursor to HCMGIS menu toolbar. Click it, you will find a base map option which will open multiple freely available base maps from Google Maps to Google Satellite Hybrid, even Bing Virtual Earth. Gupta sir talked about this too. And Sentinel sites we will also find out here if you will scroll down. You can choose base map of your interest. I'll go with Bing Virtual Earth. I hope you all have installed set plugins. I'll open base map, Bing Virtual Earth. It's loading here. I think there is a internet speed problem. Base map. Yes, now it is here. If you have installed plugin called geocoding, I have installed it here. Just move your cursor across geocoding. Now you name here location of your interest. I'll go for Gir National Park and specify it. Yes, it has located the location which I had entered. You can pick up locations of your interest. In which area you want to work with this Q field, you can pick up location of your interest. I said. This green patch which you are seeing here, this is the Gir National Park, which is located in Western India, Gujarat. Now I have to create a boundary of the study area in which I am interested to collect data. You also can create a boundary in the area of whatever size you want to carry on a work. So just go to layer. Someone is saying screen not moving. Create layer, go to layer, then come to drop down option, create layer, new shapefile layer. A new shapefile layer will pop up. Select this file wherever you want to save in your system. Give a file name. So I'll give a file name here, boundary. Because I'm interested to create a boundary here, I'll give a name boundary, ESRI shapefile. And just 1 second, I'll just do one more setup on your desktop. On your desktop, create a folder with any name. Like I have created a folder with a name. I'll create one more folder here. On your desktop, create one folder where all the files will be saved, and when you will import all those files from your handset, all the files automatically will drop down in the already given folder name. So I'll give here a name, workshop. In this workshop folder, create 2 more folders and rename it as export and import. Export folder will contain all the files which you will create in your QGIS software on desktop. And in the import folder, files will be imported from your handset when you will complete your data collection. I'll delete these files which are already present over here. Now both folders are empty here. So I can check in this folder workshop. I have two more folders, export and import. Import is empty and export is also empty. Okay, this is our setup. Now come back to QGIS and I'll save my boundary in the workshop folder. So you can see there is nothing in the folder. I'll give a name boundary. Save it. And geometry type, as I'm creating a boundary, select polygon, check projection, name is a text data, add to field list. Delete this ID given name or attribute, remove this field from here. Now in the field list, we have only name. Okay. Now select, okay. We have received here a boundary. Now click toggle editing. Add polygon. I'm going slowly, just follow me. Add polygon. Okay. Because we already have a point of interest, Gir National Park point in this area. So go to edit, add rectangle. In latest version of QGIS, these options are visible in the upper layer panel, upper menu. So you can pick up this option from there too, as this is the older version. So I have to go to edit, then move, scroll down, and then I'm finding this add rectangle option, then move to add rectangle from center and a point. Click it. Just hold this point which you have already plotted in the area of your interest. Hold it and then just drag it out. Whatever size you want to pick up. If I'll pick up small size, so it will take less time in the downloading. Okay. Now give a name. I'll give a name, Gir work area. If anyone is facing problem, please write in the chat box. Okay, I'll repeat it. I'm repeating this option again. I'm just removing this boundary from here, which I have created yet. Remove layer. Remove layer, I'm removing this option. Okay. Now I am at the point geocoding where I have got the location of my interest, Gir National Park. You can point out location of your interest. This is the same exercise which Gupta sir had done at the end, where he had entered 2 points of interest to show to someone of you in the attendees. Now I'll again repeating that action. If you have geocoded the site of your interest, then go to layer, create layer. In the create layer, view shapefile layer, view shapefile layer. Here, click on the file name. It will direct you to the destination where you want to save your file. As already I had created this file, now first I'll delete this file from here, then again I'll save it. I'm deleting these files from here. Okay, now I'm coming back to the main menu. I'll give again a name, boundary. Okay, boundary ASRI shapefile. Geometry type would be polygon because I'm creating a study site boundary. Check projection of your area, study site, give a name. This would be a text data, add to fields list. Here you can remove this ID field option and then click OK. You will find one more layer of boundary in your layer panel. Is it okay with everyone? Now click to toggle editing option, move to add polygon, move to edit, add rectangle. In the latest version, this option is visible on the canvas on the top menu bar. You don't need to go into edit option. Add rectangle from center and a point and hold it with the point of your interest and slowly drag it out. It will create the study area. You can choose size of your study area as per your interest. This time I'm choosing a small size because it will take more time in the downloading. Then right click it here and give a name. I'll save it as a Gir work area. Now stop this editing. Save. Okay. Now your boundary is created. Customize the features of the boundary by clicking on boundary, move to property, then you will find this window, Symbiology. Click simple fill. You can select outline. Give a color of your choice. I'll pick up red one. I can improve line width. Move to labels. Select single labels. Or still you stop over here. Now first you see this boundary which you have created. Zoom to layer. Here you can see the boundary of your study area you have created where you will collect data of your interest. Now we have to create one more layer for the data collection. Again, move to layer panel, create layer, new shapefile layer. Again, it will direct to save your file. So this time you can give a name of your choice. Suppose I am interested to collect data for animal sightings. In whatever subjects you want to collect data, you can give name of your choice. SRI shapefile. Click OK. This time I am going to collect point of interest. Check projection. And now you have to create fields, certain fields, which facilitates presence of the species or any form of biodiversity wherever it is existing. So I'll create certain fields here, like I'll give a name, name of animal. It would be a text data, add name animal. Here I'll enter the name, then name, location. Where are you working? It will specify a particular location. text add, then citing number, so number, citing, here you will change this option from text to whole number and then add field. Then next I'll pick up date, which date you are working. So just change this option from whole number to date, add field. And then last, I want to collect some evidence from this site. So I'll give a media option, photo. Photo would be a text data. And add to field list. Make sure that these options with the photo you are providing. Add to field and remove this first useless field. Now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 fields which we have created to collect data. Is it clear up to yet, everyone? Okay. Yes, now we have got one more layer where we are interested to collect data. Now we have to again customize the settings of this animal sighting, move to properties, variety, give a color of your choice, and again pick up red color, apply, tree size, apply, then labels, attribute form. In the attribute form, you can see all those options which we have created. Name animal, name location, number of sighting, date and ocean. In the name animal, it is editable. It's a widget type. You can, as you are giving your name, so leave it as text edit. And if you want to primarily create fields of data collection, then you can move to this option value map. It will take less time in the data collection. So I'll prefer this option. Here you can create some fields, some options, because in which whatever area you are going to collect data, you must be well aware about there. So I'll give certain names as I'm aware from here. I'll give certain animal names. Fine. You can put any description. So wherever I'll cite these species, I'll just click over there. If you want to put a constraint, so you can click this one, otherwise leave it as it is. I have left one or more cell vacant, so because I may cite more species. Okay. Then I'll come to location, text edit, it's fine. Number citing, fine. Date. At the date, because we will create a day-to-day sheet to collect data, so just move down. And here in the default, you can type now. It will automatically give the date of working day. Then date, later on move to photo, and the photo, make sure you are clicking on this text type and change it to attachment. Whatever image you will click, that would be attached to this file. and then apply. Okay. So here we have created two more layers, boundary and within the boundary, data collection points. Now this is a ready project to transfer to our handsets or mobiles. But before processing to transfer this files to mobile, I'll just extract this boundary area from this base map. For that, move to processing. If this processing plugin is not visible in the menu bar, please download it from the plugin section. In the processing, click toolbox. Raster tool. Generate XY tiles. Then one window will pop up. Extent. Where you want to or what extent you want to save. It is providing us three options: calculate from layer, use map canvas extent, or draw on canvas. So before selecting this, I'll come back to my study area map and zoom it out. I'll draw on canvas. Very slowly, just drag it down. So this area is covered. To save as XY tile. Minimum zoom, I'll change to 2. Maximum, I'll change to 18. DPI, I'll keep 200, 300. PNG, change to JPG, 85. So, output file for Ambit tiles. So, save to file. Click on your folder and give here a name. I'll give a gear raster. Now we have this option to run the algorithm which will extract this area from this base map. But before running this algorithm, we have to just uncheck this boundary. I have unchecked this boundary. Now I'll run this algorithm to extract study area. Now the algorithm has completed. Close. And now I'll check where this raster layer is saved. Yes, Gear raster, it has been saved in your assigned folder. Add this raster layer. Pick up your file. Add. Close. Now you can see this raster, Gear raster is available here in the layer panel, and now you can uncheck Ping Virtual Earth. We also uncheck geocoding. Now this is our area where we will collect data. If you all have installed the Q field in your handsets, so we are ready to import this file in the smartphone. Before moving to export of this project in the handsets, click on Q Field Sync, which you have downloaded, Q Field Sync plugin. Move to Preferences option, and here you will direct folders which you have created in the main folder on your desktop where you are supposed to export or import Q project or Q field files. You have to assign those folders of import and export over here to the directory. Default import directory, I have assigned import. Default export directory, I have assigned export. Okay. Yes. Now just check it out, package for Q field. Just check it out, this directory, and please don't disturb this directory as it is available here. Otherwise it will create a problem in downloading the project. Close it. Move to project, save as. The save as will direct you to your folder which you have created. Now give a name of this project. I'll give a Git Q field project. Now come back to plugins, Q field sync, package for Q field. Now you can notice this Gear Q field project which recently I given the name. Now create. Yes, it has been done very smoothly. Finished creating the project. This is the address where this project is copied. Please copy this project to your Q field device. Now our project is ready. So for proceeding ahead, first we have to connect our phone. I have already connected my phone over here. You can control your phone using a Visor app. It's very easy process to control your phone on your PCs. Download Visor. One desktop app you need to download and one mobile app you need to download. First check it out, your folder and data, it is okay. Now I'll open Q field. Yes, you also need to install a Q field from the Google Play. I have already installed it in my phone. Q field. You will find this Q field, just install it. I'm giving you the 3 minutes. It will not take much time. Just install it. Done? Okay. As Mr. Shehbaz is telling that you all have already installed this Q feed in your mobile phone. So I'm going back to the project. Yes. Click your Q field app. You also connect your mobile phone with your desktop using USB. So first we will copy that project which we have created in the QGIS. Wait for a second. Yes, here we have got our phones. My phone is Vivo. On it, phone, internal storage. Create a folder with the name of Q field. Okay, already one folder is here, Q field workshop. So I'll paste the project here. Yes, it is done. Thank God. Now project is imported in the mobile phone. Now we are ready to collect data. Open Q field app. Open local file, internal storage, and search out for the folder where you have assigned or pasted your field data. Q field workshop. Want to move little bit up. Yes. Again, I'll repeat this step. Open Q field. Open local file. Internal storage. Search for the folder. Q field workshop. Gear Q field project. Now just few steps have left from here. Click menu. Activate layer where you want to collect your data. Digitizing. And come back to background And here you can zoom in your base map. Also activate your location searching tool, and then zoom in the area, move to the location of your interest, such as I'm seeing here a green patch and I want to record this location in the form of a sighting. I just bring this location with this cursor, plus cursor, and then click plus. It will pop up a menu of characteristics which you have already fixed up. Name animal. I have already fed some names. I'll click lion. Name location. Any location you can give. I'm giving S of location Sasan. Number of sighting. This is a first sighting. Then date already has been activated over here, which we had already given in the form. Then here I want to collect a photo, or if you have a photo, so you can pick up a photo from your drive. Otherwise, I'll click a photo from here, allow. Now I am taking a photo. Suppose this is my species. Okay. One picture is recorded. Now I'll move my point to another location. This tree, I'm supposing an animal species. I'll click it again here. Again, menu will pop up. Select animal name. Select a location. As I'm moving at the same location, I'll give a same name. Number of sighting, it's number 2. Date is already given here. Whatever things you can prepare in the Q project, QGIS software, that is well and good. Now click again photo. I'll again move my camera. This time, this is one another photo from my side. You can click photos from your side. Click OK. I'll click one more point just. Otherwise, there is no limit to collect point. As you will zoom in, the clarity will enhance. Click. Again, give one another species name. I'm changing here the location. It's 3. Date is already there. Before clicking the photo, the pop-up window has closed. No problem. Point is created. One more point I'll create. Setting number 4. And then along with you can click up photos. So suppose I have created 1, 2, 3, 4 photos here. And now I want to close this project. So before closing this, click the menu, settings, major tool. Now you can check coordinates with every location. So close measuring tool, and then you can come back, close this project. I'll take one more point here, as one more field is already created. Fifth one. Here is application D, the number, fifth. Then this time I'll click a photo. Okay. And done. Click OK. It is done. Stop digitizing and close your project. Now come back to your QField software where you already had created a folder with the name of import. So come back to QField sync, synchronize from QField. Or you first check data in the phone folder. Yes, this is our data which we have generated in the field, and these are photos which I have clicked. So copy all this data from here. Okay. Then come back to desktop folder, workshop, and sorry, not export, import, and paste that data here. Now move to QField sync, synchronize from QField. Some error is occurring here as I have changed the phone. Yes, in the import photo, I have set all the files. Again, I will copy the project. Demo, desktop demo import. I'll just check the directory. Desktop, yes. The folder name is there, demo. Although our folder name is workshop. I'll pick up this desktop, then workshop, then import. Again, we will try. The workshop. No, that's the directory is clear now. There is some error in the directory because the setup has been changed as I have connected the another phone. So just you need to, this is the last step where you have to go to synchronize from queue field, and whatever directly you will select over here, data will go over there. So because I have changed the directory from desktop, workshop, import. Already I have assigned preferences here. Yes, here is also error. Sorry guys, actually I had changed the name. So in the import directory, there is a name demo, although I have changed this name. So you have to be very careful about every term and name which you are giving to every file and folder. So the name, same name I'll copy here. Otherwise it will again create the problem. Desktop workshop, the same name I'll create here. I hope now it will not create problems. So check the directory. C user admin desktop workshop folder, the same name, workshop, and then import. I hope now it will not create problem in synchronizing the data. There is an error in the directory actually somewhere. Still it is occurring. So again, I'll check it out in the preference. Yes, the export, the whole setup has been changed. Desktop workshop export, or even I can re-pick up locations for the directory. Preference, although this is the step performing before importing a project to the handset, desktop, workshop, export. And same thing I'll repeat here. Desktop, workshop, import. The error is only occurring here. Your directory should be correct. Now it can may create problem because I am doing this section later. Otherwise, this is the thing to fix up before importing your project in the phone. If it is again creating a problem, so there is just minor step has left. Yes, it has been done, I think. Yeah, in the import folder. Synchronize, import. Okay, workshop, then import. Yes. Still there is some error. Just hold for a second. Okay, guys, I'll again try, but keep patience. It will happen. Uh, I'll move to my phone. Only error is existing in case of directory or path of folder, which already I had assigned in the combination of my Vivo phone, and still I'm using the another phone. So the problem is existing only over there. The queue field, in the queue field, I have this data set. Just one step is there. You have to copy this, and in the similar format as I am doing, you have to synchronize this data in the QGIS software. So automatically all the points will appear over there. Copy again. One more time I'll try. If not happening, so just please repeat this process. And my email is there. My contact number is also there with you all. And I'll also share video of this demonstration. Again, one more time, I'm trying to do it. Workshop import. Just data is importing to the QGIS. Just directory error is there only. Data is successfully importing to the QGIS. Just you need to assign the directory correctly. Synchronize. Desktop. It will happen. In the desktop, I'm on the desktop, then on workshop folder. Desktop, workshop, import. No, again, I'll try this phone, my phone setup. Because data collection is done, just one step has left to bring back that data from phone to desktop.
डेटा जो टूलकिट से दोबारा सेव करने में और क्या करेंगे फाइल फॉर्मेट जेपीकेजी वाला फाइल फॉर्मेट है
वो
एक्सपोर्ट इंपोर्ट कर देंगे
नहीं सर, वो डायरेक्टरी तो प्री डिफाइंड होती है। हाँ, और जैसे इंपोर्ट करेंगे, सिंक्रोनाइज करेंगे, देन ऑल द पॉइंट्स विल बी विजिबल ऑन द डेस्कटॉप। जस्ट दिस स्टेप हैज लेफ्ट। हाँ, बस वही फोन का जो इंपोर्ट कहाँ से किया हमने, इंपोर्ट किया मैंने।
टूलकिट से दोबारा डाटा सेव कर रहे हो फोल्डर में मॉडल का तो उसका फॉर्मेट
जस्ट सेट दिस फोन नाउ। So very quickly, I'll repeat this exercise to export this project to QJQ field in the handset, and then I'll bring back that project to the desktop. I already have this project ready. Plugin, package for Q field, Q field project. This is already saved here. Again, I'll save. It is again, see, it has done very smoothly. Your project is ready to copy. So my project is here ready to copy. I will copy this project. Hopefully get pasted here. Yes. Save done. Okay. The style create here 1 point. ये हमें वेट करना था, फोन चेंज नहीं करना था. No problem. No problem. It can happen with anyone if you are changing your setup, so it will create problem. Hmm. Directory change हुए हैं. This time I have not clicked the photo, just points are there. Now keep fingers crossed that it will happen successfully. Hmm. So guys, there is a very common error which can appear many times. Just one step has left. You try and try to create an assignment. If you are not able to finish this last step, then I'll guide you personally and I'll also share a video with you, because if I'll be hang on with this application, so I'm not able to move for the another application. So what you all want, should I continue with this application or should move to another one? You can write your answer in the chat box. Just one small step is there, just directory direction is creating an error. If you fix up a setup with your phone and the desktop with a similar name and will assign a clear directly, very smoothly it will be imported in the desktop. Okay, so should I stop here? Yes, I'm asking to everyone. Just I'm here. Just one second, chat box. Yeah. We'll move forward. Say we will organize second series of this workshop, then we'll discuss more mobile apps. Still we want to stop here, and with new setup, still we want to stop here in the second series of this workshop.
You already
Where is my video in this? Stop sharing. Stop sharing. Yes, 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 yes. Yes, some error has occurred in the directory, and once it is occurring, so definitely you have to repeat the entire process with the same name of the folders, then it will be done very smoothly. So just we did some changing of the setup, that's why it has happened. Question is from Karthik Harish Kumar. Yeah, the question is from Harish Kumar. How do we create topology in QGIS? Or topology you can download from a source website. You cannot create it. Definitely you can extract area of your interest from the topology by just digitizing the topology. For that, you have to first give a projection, means you have to create georeferencing of that topology, then you will be able to extract the area of your interest. We also access live location by this app during. Yes, Karthik, definitely you can access live locations using the same process, using the Q field. This time, actually, just the changing of the setup, the problem has occurred. Otherwise, if you will repeat this exercise as an assignment, definitely you will be able to finish it successfully. Otherwise, my contact details are there. You can contact me, and I'll also share a complete video, because still there is also some net issue and setup changing problem. So that's why it has been occurred. Wherever you want to collect data, you can collect it live. You can add on images with your data point of interest. You can add on videos or you can add on also the literature, letter, whatever you want to add on. It is available in the
What is the alternate?
Krishna. Just delete him. It is available. I had shown you a slide in the Androids. You can download this app from Google Play Store or from the just in the app to Play Store. You have to just search out this app in the Play Store of Apple phone. From where you are downloading apps from your phone of Apple. Therefore, you just give a name of QField, you will definitely find the app. Even 5-6 versions of QFields are available today. Latest version of 2021 also are available. And any other question, Shabab? Just look it out here. Can we import photo in QField mobile map? Yes, you can import photo. I had clicked those photos, which I can show you. It is still stored in my phone. When you will synchronize, just the problem has occurred in this synchronizing, step. When you will synchronize this with the right directory, actually directory matters in the import and export of the projects. If you will give a correct directory with the same folder names, it is not changing at all. So then you will synchronize everything from points of locations to photos, videos, whatever data you are collecting in the field. Yes, definitely. I'll share fourth session videos on the Google Classroom, and even I'll also share a YouTube channel with you all too, where all these sessions recordings and definitely assignments for this QGIS field especially will be assigned you. Now I want to check, is it possible to finish this task with you all, even facing this problem with me or not? If you or anyone of you is facing this problem, then I'll assist you personally. Or I had given the name of that app. SPILFALL app is there available to identify all the insects. iNaturalist is for everything. You can identify all animal species either from the microticks or metaticsa. Yes, you can mark your route, Devanshu. If you want to mark route, then you have to just provide a slight change when you are creating your project in the QField. Instead of picking up of point of locations, you have to pick up line. And if you are picking up line, then you will be able to mark routes while you are using QField. I think we should stop here. Data. Our data has been synchronized here very well. You can notice these points which I had created using mobile GIS technique. All the points are visible on my base map of the study area. So this is about QField with QGIS software, which help us to collect data from the field. So I'll end this project here. Thank you very much.